Okay, Jimmy O from JoBlo.com. First of all, George, I want to say last time we spoke about Kelly Gang on the phone. You
Aye.
mentioned you're one of the best actors working. You
Oh,
continue to prove my point.
well, thank you. That's really, really kind of you. Thank
Well,
you.
both of you are fantastic here. How do you go into this kind of role? This question is really for both of you, and I'll start with you, George. How do you go into the reality of what these characters are dealing with and what these characters are going through mentally?
I think that the possibility of that exact question is what drew me to the project.
Mhm.
And I think the closest or the beginning of that answer was I had a week's rehearsal in Ireland, which is where we filmed the film with Natalie and Terry Notary, Natalie our director and Terry Notary the movement coach, um, just before rehearsals, to kind of this workshop the wolf. And there was this sort of moment where Terry kind of, before we got to the physicality, got to the mental side of it, and we sort of, through working at it, decided that being wild, so to speak, being human is to be full of thought. And so to be wild is to be without thought. And to kind of experience that sort of, and Terry had a lot of meditative exercises that we did, but when you got that moment of kind of being free of thought and the sort of weird kind of elation and emotion that you feel is a very sort of without anything changing, but to feel that feeling, that was the key into kind of how you sort of, I can kind of go, all right, intellectually, emotionally, this is why I know this man is wild. And, and then the fun was kind of like working on the wolf aspect of that wild nature.
That's cool. Lily Rose, same. What was it like for you?
Absolutely. And I have to say, just kind of like going off of what George said, like it's a really beautiful thing to hold absolutely no judgment towards yourself and to not even put yourself in a position when while you're where you're questioning why you're feeling certain, like why certain feelings are coming up when you're doing these kind of meditative exercises, or questioning what your body's doing when you're working on animal movement and things like that. I think that, like George was saying, to get into this kind of not even animalistic, but this kind of just like, yeah, very kind of simple headspace. Like it allows yourself like a freedom, both physical and emotional, that I hadn't really experienced before. And I think, like, yeah, that was kind of the key in getting into this place, especially a role that is like roles that are as unique as these are, both in the kind of like human side and the animalistic side. I think was the key, was that freedom, both feeling free with each other in the scenes that we were doing, and also with ourselves, and allowing ourselves to just kind of be as wild and as free as the characters are.
Well, yeah, I love that the fact that it was so easy for both of you, and then you have with Natalie, the director, trying to really understanding the story and really what was that like, and how did she contribute to making your relationship work so well?
I think and that's just amazing, and I think Natalie, I mean, we sort of worked on. I don't know about you, Lily, but Nat and I kind of worked on figuring out Jacob so that then we could then sort of bring our two characters together, and it was all about understanding a private sort of backstory because the characters are so enigmatic and often so silent as well, and I think that it was kind of through understanding what's happened through their lives, whether the audience know it clearly or not, gave me clarity as to why they come together in that moment as well. And so I think that answers your question in terms of, for at least for me personally, that's the work that Natalie did. Is again, it's just a continuing sort of like exploration and journey of understanding of this character that then sort of, and then it suddenly makes the beautiful script she's written, all the more clear as to like, this is exactly why this happens in this way, because now I know that it has to happen then because of everything that's come before.
Yeah,
Well,
I think it all kind of falls together in that way, like understanding where the characters, were before we met them in the movie, and where they've been throughout their lives, helps you understand where they are when we meet them, and why they connect in the way that they do, and why they need each other in the end. And I think it's a beauty, we don't often, I think, allow ourselves the permission to just like explore in that way, and feel free, and be reserved of judgment towards ourselves and towards each other. I think that the way that they connect is this very kind of pure thing, where they're never kind of like uh I don't know. There's a lot of kind of I don't know. I think their connection, their relationship is something very pure and something that we don't see very often. I find it very touching, very special.
I did too. Beautiful performances, guys. Congratulations, seriously.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Have a good one. Bye.
Once there was a place in the woods where they sent people who didn't fit into the real world.
Welcome, Jacob.
Species identity disorder can be cured so that a person who thinks themselves an animal can resume a happy, healthy, and rewarding life.
I want to do it. It's the best thing for everyone.
You're all gonna end up wonderful human beings.
They say the wolf and the wildcat are natural enemies. But they're wrong.
How long have you been here?
Since I can remember.
I'm putting you out of your misery.
We call him the zookeeper. Keep clear of him.
Ever think of running away?
Only one person ever did.
I've always had this feeling, these instincts.
Stop. You're gonna get us caught.
I can't.
It's a cruel, cruel world.
Once upon a time, there was a wolf and a wildcat. I wanted to live happily ever after.
It's not just about surviving, but surviving is me.
Do you really think you can have a life with that boy?
But life is no fairy tale. Is it?
So I'm saying my goodbyes.
I'm running.
I'm running. Goodbye to my good side.
I'm breathing.
I'm breathing.
Do you want things to get worse for you?
I have no human form.
I have no human form.